Hi, Pastor Kip here. Several years ago, I was in a used bookstore, and this book here over my right shoulder, entitled The Shroud of Turin, The Burial Cloth of Jesus Christ. I ran across this book, picked it up, was intrigued by it, started flipping through it, decided I had to pay the quarter and get it and read through it. Written by Ian Wilson, a historian at the University of Oxford many years ago. What this book is about is a shroud or a cloth, a burial cloth, that dates to the time of Jesus, where they would wrap a person who had passed away in this cloth before they buried them in a cave, not in a tomb in the ground, but in a cave in the way they did it at the time of Christ. We have those accounts in the gospel narratives. On this cloth, there is an image of a person. Some people believe that it's the actual image of Christ when he was taken down from the cross and put in the tomb, and his body, the New Testament tells us, was wrapped with one of these burial cloths. As you can imagine, there's been a lot of controversy about that, a lot of questions, and a lot of answers too. And in the last few years, say the last 75 years, there's been a lot of study done on the shroud itself. From time to time, it's been on public display, but not very often. I think the last time was in 2015. It's housed in a special protective vault at a cathedral in Turin, Italy. And the shroud itself has invited much study and speculation. There's been a lot of DNA studies done on it and other advanced scientific studies done upon the cloth, and the results are fascinating. This fall, beginning on October the 22nd, I'm announcing the Institute of Religious Studies to focus on the Shroud of Turin and other religious relics like it. For instance, did you know that there's a cathedral, a place, that actually says they contain the bones of John the Baptist? Some time ago, there was an ossuary. An ossuary is a bone box. It's a box about yay big, where after a person had deceased and the bones were the only thing left, would put them in the box, and a person's name would be written on that box and then buried. Those kind of ossuaries have been found all over the Holy Land for many years. One was found some time ago that has the name inscribed on it, James, the brother of Jesus. Is this ossuary the actual bone box of the brother of Jesus, known as James, who we also have mentioned in the New Testament? Another holy relic or religious artifact is also known as the seamless robe. You know, the Gospels tell us that the robe that Jesus wore and they took from him when they crucified him, and the soldiers gambled for the garment, that it was seamless. Some claim that they have that seamless robe and that from time to time it's put on display as a place of reliquary or worshipry. And then there's the Waterford Cross, one of the most fascinating of religious relics. Now, we as Protestants and Presbyterians, we don't pay a lot of attention to holy relics. But in some ways we should, because it's part of our Christian history, long before the Protestant Reformation. There were many holy relics throughout the Holy Land and Europe and even beyond that were investigated. Some were dismissed, others were kind of put a question mark, and some were saying, yes, we believe this to be accurate, or we believe this to be true. Then, following the Protestant Reformation, which of course gave birth to the Presbyterian movement, there was much questions about holy relics. And today, in our modern world, our technological age, our scientifically advanced world, there are people every year that make long pilgrimages by the thousands to see, to visit, and to touch holy relics. Some of the ones that I've mentioned are like that. Others kept from the public, like the Shroud of Turin. What does this say about our faith? When we move into the Institute of Religious Studies this year, it's not about whether we're going to go visit one of these relics. You can if you want. I've seen a couple of them in person myself. It's about what this says about how people practice their faith. What does this say about Christian history? And what is it about the need to have something to touch or to see that somehow connects us to Christ or connects us to God? Is that even important? Why is that so much a part of our Christian history, even though it might not be something we would be drawn to or we would acclimate to? We need to understand our history that we inherit. We don't live our Christian faith today in a vacuum. Many generations have gone before us that express their faith in Christ just as we do. And the shroud, mysterious and intriguing, we'll get into all of that and much more. Make sure and register and let me know you're coming. There are 3 ways you can do that. You can go to the Welcome Center here at the church and sign your name up that way. You can call the church office and let them know that you're planning to come, or you can email the church office as well. Email our receptionist at receptionist@fpcflorence.org and let them know you're coming. The reason being is I want to make sure I have enough space. I want to also make sure that I have enough study guides for everybody and that we are prepared when this happens. That's why I'm giving you such a heads up. Mark your calendar. What begins on October the 22nd at 6 p.m. in the fellowship hall on the lower level will be 5 Thursday nights. Some of the institutes I've done in the past have been 6. This will be 5, and 5 religious relics, the shroud and the other 4 that we will consider. I promise at a minimum, it will challenge your thinking. It'll give you new information, and it'll help you wrestle with how we make a connection to divine things, how we make a connection to God. This coming Sunday, I will continue the sermon series on if Jesus is the answer, what are the questions? And I got a good question. They've all been great, but this one in particular, very appropriate for what we're talking about right now. The question is, how do we know if it's true? How do we know any of these relics are true? But more importantly, how do we know that the stories we read in the Bible, are they true? How do we know about Jesus and who he said he was or who others said he was? Is it true? How do we discern between superstition and truth? How do we know if it's true? We're going to take up that question this coming Sunday. Bring a friend, a family member, and as always, I'll be excited to see you in worship this week. God bless you.